Just want to confirm there's no audio yet. I'm getting nervous 2 minutes in that I'm not hearing anything.
I don't hear anything either.
I hear you. Okay, good. I'll just hold on. I'll be in the chambers in just a few minutes, by the way, but I'm starting the meeting here.
Check, check, 1, 2. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
There we go. Sorry.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, I can hear you. Mm-hmm.
There were 2 buttons instead of 1.
Can I make sure you can hear me as well?
Yep, gotcha.
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm going to try this again. Can you hear me?
I
Yes.
can.
I can hear you.
Okay, I am going to read the recess into executive session again. I hope everyone can hear me. Notice is hereby given to the members of the MetroPlan Executive Board and to the general public that at this regular meeting, the MetroPlan Executive Board may vote to go into executive session, which will not be open to the public, for legal advice and discussion with the MetroPlan Executive Board's attorneys for legal advice on any item listed on the following agenda. And with that, I would like to get roll call.
Good afternoon. We're going to start with our executive board members. Chair Sweet,
Present.
Vice Chair Begay,
Present.
Member Aslan,
Here.
Member Williams is excused today. Member Daggett. Here. Member Peshlikai.
Here.
And Member Vasquez is also excused today. Moving on to MetroPlan staff, Executive Director Morley. Here. Planning Manager Wessel.
Here.
Transportation Planner Gonzalez. Here. Transportation Planner Tavel. Here. Transportation Demand Manager Austin. Safe Routes to School Coordinator Cooper.
Here.
Thank you. That concludes roll call.
Thank you. And I am going to go to item 3, public comment. At this time, any member of the public may address the board on any subject within their jurisdiction that is not scheduled before the board on that day. Due to open meeting laws, the board cannot discuss or act on items presented during this portion of the agenda. To address the board on an item that is on the agenda, please wait for the chair to call for public comment at the time the item is heard. Do we have any public comment? Okay, I'm not seeing any. We're going to go down to approval of minutes. And these are the executive board regular meeting minutes of April 3rd, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve.
Can I get a second?
I
Second.
second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries. Going down to item 5, the consent agenda. And at this time, I don't believe we have anything on the consent. Thank you. Heading down to general business, update on Mountain Line compensation study. And Kate Morley, please take it away.
Thank you, Chair, members of the board. Sam Short, Mountain Line Workforce Director, sends his apologies. He can't be here today. But we are joined by consultants from TransPro who provide contract human resource services to Mountain Line. As a reminder to the board, MetroPlan contracts Mountain Line for HR and payroll services. So we follow their pay plan, HR policies, et cetera. And so with that, I'm going to introduce Aaron Bingaman and Brendan Morgan to give you the presentation on the comp study.
Good afternoon. Can everybody hear me okay?
We can.
All right. Well,
Yes.
it's great. Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be with you this afternoon. Kate, thank you for that introduction. My name is Aaron Bingaman. I'm the managing principal with TransPro Consulting. Joining me is one of our project managers, Brendan Morgan. Just two bits about TransPro. We are a public sector management consulting firm. We have been collaborating with Mountain Line on a variety of issues related to coaching, development, organizational analysis, and this compensation study. So we were invited by Mountain Line to take a look at some things, just have a very brief presentation for you all for some information for future consideration. If you would please click ahead. Three things here that we'll go through, just what were our objectives with the compensation study, very high level overview of the process, any recommended implementation strategy, and then its financial impact to MetroPlan. Take me forward, please. So really very simply, it's a best practice for public sector organizations to really take a look at how they are compensating their team members. I think MetroPlan, along with Mountain Line, really both aspire to be employers of choice. And so as a part of that better practice and something that has been done pretty consistently by the organizations throughout the years, was to assess the marketplace comparison to public employers and see if there were any adjustments needed. Are we out of market, out of competitive range within anything in our current market? To be sure, we engaged a more experienced partner than ourselves in this. If you would please click forward. We engaged an organization named Mercer as a sub-consultant to us on this. They are really deep subject matter experts working across the field for some benchmarking, peer analysis, data, and research. And so they did that work with a real focus on how are we compensating team members within the Flagstaff market, and devising some of those recommendations and thoughts for us to understand any potential impacts. Thank you. One more slide. So I won't bury the lead here anymore. Delighted to report that MetroPlan really only had two positions considered undervalued in the wage comparison. And so, what we've identified is two positions that if you wanted to make those adjustments to bring them into alignment within the Flagstaff market, the total cost of those salary adjustments would be a little over $22,000, with benefits being adjusted just under $10,000, for a total burden, a total impact there of $32,261. So I think a positive finding to recognize that we really only had two team members that have potential misalignment, and those impacts and recommendations there. That's it. Those are the slides. Happy to answer any potential questions you may have, and fully acknowledge that if you get a little too technical, we may have to go to our partners and come back to you with answers. So Brendan and I stand ready to answer any questions. And I will offer Brendan a chance, anything I missed there that we needed to cover with the team today. He's shaking his head no. So happy to take any questions from the board.
Thank you. And board, any questions or comments? I am not seeing any. Appreciate the information.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the time.
So we are moving down to Executive Director's Annual Review. And Kate, I believe you're kicking this off.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I wanted to start with just a reminder of the process. I'm going to give you an update on last year's goals. These were adopted by the board, as well as giving you draft new goals to consider. In between that, I'm going to invite Cody Weaver from Mountain Lineup. She's the HR manager, and she's going to present findings from the 360 reviews that were surveys of staff, TAC, and management committee members. And I also wanted to remind the board that I did send a letter with my interest in continuing to serve as your executive director. That should be in your email, and that you have the option to go into executive session. So before I kick off, I'm going to start with update on last year's goals. And I just want to really thank the MetroPlan team for this. The things that I report on, they all do on a daily basis, and I wouldn't be able to say that these were accomplishments or things that we had done without their help. So I just want to acknowledge that first as we go through this. And these slides are very dense. I just essentially copied the goals from last year and put them on the screen so that I could give you a brief update. The first one is to continue developing our transportation demand management program and safe routes to school program. We've obviously been working hard on that, bringing on Kim and Corey to deliver those services and programs. Corey's been hard at work getting observations from schools, collecting information from parents so we can put together a strategy around how we might reduce parent pickup drop-off. Kim has been hard at work doing bike education throughout the community and hosting a lot of events. So grateful for those activities. The second goal was to implement the strategic plan by helping partners prepare for and apply for grants. And you're going to get more information on this in your KPI section later, your key performance indicator section. But obviously the region has been very successful with the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. And I think if we looked at how we were doing per capita to others around the state or the nation, you would see that we're doing very well. We've won most of the major competitive awards across the country in the region, from Protect to a Wildlife's Crossing to a RAISE grant, a infra grant, 2 or 3 SS4A grants. I can't even remember them all. There's so many grants. So many grants I can't count. And there's a large team of people who are writing those grants and getting them implemented. But one I think we can be very proud of. The third one
Kate,
is, yes.
I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that has worked on the grants. I mean, it is incredible what we have achieved. And I know at a city level, we talk about it and use MetroPlan as our shining light. And I just, everyone has worked very hard and it has paid off. So thank you.
Thank you for that. The third goal was to engage NAU to have a seat on the board. We'll give myself a, I don't know, check minus on this one. They are being engaged. I actually had a meeting with them recently. They have been waiting to hire a VP of capital to have this conversation, figure out if they wanted to join, because that's the position that they want to fill it if they fill it, and it's been vacant. So they've now had somebody on for a couple months. I met with Josh Mayer about it a couple weeks ago, and they're now actively contemplating joining the board. So there is movement. It's just slow movement. Number 4 is to lead and mentor staff to deliver the strategic plan goals and objectives and develop resiliency in our team and not a depth of knowledge. Again, we're going to get a KPI report later, but I think you'll see that our strategic plan goals are headed in the right direction across the board. And I can tell you the team spends a lot of time developing their technical skills and gaining new knowledge. And I'll just give a special shout out to Dave Wessel online, who's been with the organization for 28 years and a big part of delivering that to the team and helping with that knowledge building. Number 5 is to build relationships with city and garner trust through the development of the Safe Streets Master Plan, the West 66 Plan, and the Transportation Alternatives Award. Those things are all in progress. I think they're going really well. We're figuring out how to make our plans useful to partners and have ongoing conversations about it all the time. So that'll be a long-term one. I continue to keep that in my proposed draft new goals. I think it's a long-term item. And then number 6 is consider opportunities to provide for staff growth and mentorship in a constrained hierarchy for advancement. So this is how do we keep staff engaged and feeling like there's opportunity for them at MetroPlan, despite the fact that we're a small team with limited opportunities for promotion. I'd say I'm doing okay in this one. I think we see that in the 360 reviews that there's room for growth for me in this area, and something for me to continue to work on. I think over the last year, I've really focused on trying to provide opportunity for staff to pursue educational opportunities through conferences that are of interest to those kinds of things. But I think that there's more that I could do besides supporting those kinds of educational activities. So that's an overview of last year's goals. And then I want to turn it over to Cody to go through the 360. And when she's done, we'll talk about what I'm proposing for the next year.
Good afternoon, board. Thank you, Executive Director. My name is Cody Weaver. I am the HR manager for both Mountain Line and MetroPlan. It does seem pretty confusing when we have to explain it, but I'll go ahead and move forward with Kate Morley's survey. So these were some of the results that were for her 360 of this year. Again, some of the results and methodology. A survey was created by myself, and the questions were created by myself and Kate, and these were pre-approved by the chair, president, and vice chair as well. The survey questions were ranked 1 through 5, 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. And we also had open-ended questions. The survey was administered to MetroPlan, TAC, and the Management Committee on March 12, 2025, and surveys were completed through a link sent out via email. The survey was closed on April 11th, 2025. Here are some of the top results we saw. For the morale, does this individual make efforts to increase or decrease team morale? Last year, as you could see highlighted in yellow, executive director had a 5 for fiscal year 24. This year was a 4.4. Performance and development provides coaching and resources to help team members develop their professional skills to fulfill organizational needs, identifies employee strengths, weakness, and provides feedback to improve and enhance team performance. As you can see, is highlighted 4.7 last year. This year was a 4.6. Supports and encourages employee growth and opportunities for promotion. 4.5 for fiscal year 24 and 3.4 this year. Strategic results. Do you feel supported to achieve the strategic goals of the organization? 5.0 last year, 4.6 this year. Problem solving, does she demonstrate skills in solving problems and arriving at solutions and or improvements and supporting staff at the same? This year was 4.8, as you can see again, 5.0 last year. This was for management committee and TAC results. Creates positive professional image and develops cooperative associations with community groups, boards, and commissions, customers, vendors, and the general public. She had a 5 out of 5. Provides well-researched and thought-out recommendations that provided A, true options, and B, are sensitive to diverse opinions of the community, inclusive, are goal-oriented. 4.5 this year, and as of last year, she had a 4.86. 3, develops and maintains effective working relationships with the elected officials, NAPTEP board, TAC, staff, transportation agencies, media, and the general public, 5 out of 5. And effectively coordinates with local, regional, state, and federal agencies, 4.5 this year with a 4.8 from last year. These were some of the positive open-ended response we received. Kate has been a fantastic executive director. I truly appreciate her collaboration and active listening and addressing issues and concerns from the communities and stakeholders. Holds regular leadership training, engages staff in sharing leadership experiences, encourages staff to try new leadership skills, facilitates board discussions well, takes action at statewide, COG, and MPO directors level. Stay focused on pushing the top priority Highway 180, identified in the advance to make improvements, leverage MetroPlan Executive Board, put them to work to get momentum for Highway 180 via political advocacy and bureaucratic funding process. Somehow shed or merge a responsibility to manage a regional traffic model with city and county. Kate is one of the hardest workers I've met. She has a wealth of experience and leads from the front. She is always appreciative of our success. I've learned so much from her. She has pushed me outside my comfort zone to learn new skills and gain confidence. Kate is uniquely positioned to tee up key conversations between city and ADOT at the highest administrative levels that can occur in a non-public meeting forum before it goes to e-board. On Milton Humphrey's turnback, road transfers to vet pro and cons and showcase the transformative opportunities just jurisdictional change would make for Flagstaff. I feel very fortunate to work for Kate. She is encouraging and sets expectations for employees and wants us to be successful. This was a new slide we added for this year, just to continue showing the themes that, along with what Kate said for her plan, these are the themes for improvement as well, which was mentorship on leadership, provide staff more support with partners and peers, provide staff with more project management training, provide staff more engagement in the development of procedures and fiscal health, and provide partners more time to review our products. Any questions on the 360?
Okay, any questions or comments at this time?
Thank you, Cody. Thank you. Appreciate it. So as part of the annual review, we set new goals. And so based on the feedback that received and the status of last year's goals, I've proposed new goals. Some are continuations and some really are new. I've kept lead and mentor staff to deliver the strategic plan, goals and objectives, and continue to find growth opportunities. And recognizing the project management skill sets that were in the 360 as well. Number 2 is to continue to build the relationship with the city. That's a continuation from last time. Number 3 is more regular check-ins with board, management committee, and TAC members. This is something that I meant to do over the last year and just never found the time to. I think partly with the vacancy of the business manager position. I have good news that we have somebody who will be starting on the 19th. Yes, and with that capacity, I hope to be able to engage more deeply with all of you on a more regular basis. Number 4 is to enhance strategic collaboration with ADOT, to increase funding for priority projects on the ADOT system that are within or directly benefit the region. So maybe there's something like that wildlife crossings that's just south of our region, but it has direct benefit to us. And then move local policy priorities forward. So funding and policy. The policy piece is a recognition of our conversations around lighting, those types of things. But I think we've been really successful at the federal level over the last couple years. And I think there's opportunity to try to apply some of that strategy at the state level as well. That's really the purpose behind the goal. Number 5 is to engage with member agencies, advocacy groups, and congressional representatives on surface transportation funding reauthorization. So this is the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. They are in earnest starting conversations about what renewal of that will look like. And so obviously hugely important to the region to continue to have infrastructure funding available. So that'll be a major activity over the next 2 years probably. And number 6 is to create a succession plan for the retirement of Dave Wessel. He's been with us for 28 years. He's the one up on screen here. 28 years. And he does look like he's in the witness protection program, but he is not. He is just an employee. He, as I mentioned earlier, he provides a ton of resource and knowledge to the team and particularly manages the regional model for us. And so while 2 years seems long, 2 years is going to go fast, and we really need to think about those tasks that he manages and how we pull that knowledge over to the rest of the team. Number 7 is to continue to develop the TDM program and the Safe Routes to School program. I'm really excited about the things that are happening there, and so want to keep moving them forward. We did add a piece about, or I did add a piece about sustainability long term. Both these positions are grant funded, one-time grant funded, and so how do we right size these programs so we can continue them in hopefully perpetuity and keep them moving. So that is my presentation, and I will turn it back to the chair.
Great, thank you. I have a question which may be off the wall, but I'm wondering how you develop your goals. To me, they're very well-rounded. They're very poignant to where I think MetroPlan lays today, but I'm just wondering how you develop them.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I look at our strategic plan and what it says we need to be doing, and then what I think the gaps are and how we could be doing better. I think we're doing a lot of great things, but what's next for us on the horizon? Obviously, IIJA is a huge one. And then I've just noticed this piece about while we're doing so successful we are so successful at the federal level, we're not getting a lot of the projects we want done on the ADOT system. And I will acknowledge ADOT does not have enough money, so it's not like they're just not bringing it to our region. But how do we get some of those things done that we really want done? They own some of our major roadways, Milton, West 66, 180, 66. And those are really important to our big picture goals around transit, bike, ped, and so that feels like a really important piece. So one is the strategic plan. What are we doing? Two, I really do dive deep into the 360s and the feedback that's received to figure out what I should do next. And those are really the two guiding documents. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
I have a question about where the grants for the two positions, where that money came from.
It is federal pass-through money to the state of Arizona. So because we have a lot of grants right now, that's created capacity. One is specifically for safe routes to school. We've got about 3.5 years worth of a position there. It is obligated money. It is still flowing money. The other position is created just through general capacity of the IIJA brought us more funds in general that has allowed us to shift some things around and bring on the extra position. So it's really contingent upon those reauthorization levels to be able to keep that position. There is one particular formula funding program that I am concerned about, name alone. It's called the Carbon Reduction Program. And based on nothing but that, I do have some concerns about the continuation of that. We use that to support the model and data collection, and that allows us to use other money for staff. And so it's that balance between the two.
Any other questions or comments? I am not seeing any. So at this time, I would like to vote to go into executive session. And I'm wondering if I can get a motion, and this would be an A1 executive session. Can I get a motion?
I'll move.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, we're going into executive session.
Okay, I'm gonna come into the chamber now. I'll
Great.
see you in
And
a
I do
second.
need to ask Kate Morley if she is okay if we go into the A1 executive session.
Yes.
Thank you.
For those online, you should now exit this team meeting. For those on the board, just the board members, please exit this Teams meeting and join your Teams meeting for the executive session. And it'll take us a moment to get there. We need to go upstairs.
For the public meeting, we will be pausing and we'll return to you as soon as the board comes back.